Hello and welcome. We're going to check out some 1990 NFL Pro Set Series 2 cards with all the errors, inserts, and really cool players that we could find in there. So we're going to do 9 packs today. So we're going to open up this box. We're going to go right up here to the top left section, pull those out, and here are going to be our packs. And as you know, if we pull any kind of a good card, it's going to get the horn. And if we pull a card that ends up not being great, the other horn. Over here is our winner's circle. As we pull out cards from packs, we're going to put the best card in there. And then if a new one comes out that's even better, it'll take its place until there's only one standing at the end. And we'll see what that is. Sometimes it's an amazing card. Sometimes it's a meh kind of card. So it's all in, you guessed it, the cards. So here we go. Let's pop open the first pack and see what we've got coming out of these. Let's try this end. I do really like this set because of all the error cards in there and the popular players. There's a lot of variety. All right, here we've got, right off the top, we have a Phil Simms of an MVP collectible card. And set. I think these have a different set of values than the regular card. So let's check these out. Phil Simms, we have number 21. And he's coming in at just around $17 as a PSA 10. And as you know, 10s can be very hard to get, and the grading may even cost more than that. So we'll put this card in a pile of these Super Bowl MVPs and maybe make a little subset out of those. Tony Stargell, cornerback of the Jets, number 745. And now we're getting into the regular player cards. But in this series, we're looking to get, there may be a superhero, there may be a Santa insert, and then even an Emmitt Smith rookie, and a couple other really good cards. So let's see. This one, common card. So we'll put that in our common pile and keep going. We have Jeff Alm, number 710 of the Oilers. And he's going to be a common card. It's his rookie, around $1.19. And obviously, that's to someone looking for that particular card to finish their set. Next up, whoa, Junior Seau, number 673. This card, I believe, is a great one. Junior's rookie. Yep, in a PSA 10, this is going to be around $75. So a really good pull for sure on the Junior Seau. He gets the horn. And we're going to gently tuck him into a sleeve here, being very careful of the edges. And I'm sure there's a good way to do this. I'm trying to learn it. Ooh, I think I may have developed a new little technique there. So I think from this pack, he's going to now overtake our winner's circle. Junior Seau, great pull. Following him, we have Jeff George, number 669, and a popular quarterback. And let's see how the card value has been doing. So here we go. We have, there's a lot of variations to this. This is one of the error cards. So I see literally, yep, about 5 different variations. So the first one is a basic one. Let's see if he's got, what color is the bottom, or the front bottom of the card. All right, so we got Jeff George on the Colts. Blue top and bottom, and he's wearing the Colts uniform, not the Illinois uniform, so that puts us at this one. It is his rookie card, and that's going to be around $28 as a PSA 10, and surprisingly around $21 as a PSA 9. So we will tuck him in a sleeve and decide what we want to do later. What I'll probably do for a lot of these middle value cards, stack them all together, and then if we get a whole bunch, 6, 7, 8, look at them really close and see if any of them may have a chance at a 10. And if so, then maybe send one or two in for submission. But for now, we'll just protect them as best we can, and then when the time comes, we'll do it. And I think I figured out a new way to tuck them in better, so I'll show you on the next one and see if it actually works. Is he going to beat Junior Seau in our winner's circle? I don't think so, but we'll put him aside anyway and see who's next. Ezel Jenkins, 6'12", of the Philadelphia Eagles. So far we have a good pack run through. Some good pulls, a good junior, good error, and here we have a common card. Ken Lanier, 488. And he's going to be around $1.80 as a common. Brent Williams, number 583 of the New England Patriots. He's also another common card at around $1.63. Ron Heller, number 606 of the Philadelphia Eagles. And common card at around $1.25. And Kevin Fagan, number 638 of the 49ers. This looks like an all-star game card. Let's see. Nope. But around $1 value there. Eric Ball, 460 of the Bengals, Cincinnati Bengals. Around an 80-cent common card. Russ Grimm, 663 of the Redskin team. This shows around $13 as a PSA 10. So not huge value, but above a common. So we'll kind of tuck him in the above a common pile. And Don Warren, number 667, coming in at around $1.42, also of the Redskins team. So he'll be our common card there. We have Ronnie Lott, 400, and he's on the 49ers. This looks like the Pro Bowl card. And here we have a PSA 10 value of around $36. So something a little more than nothing. And we'll tuck this in his sleeve, and then again we'll spend some time later, maybe even a video itself, going through what cards may be worth grading and what condition they're in. So okay, so I mentioned I was going to show you what I was doing with this sleeve on the next one. Let's see how the focus works, but essentially I'm trying to move it so that there is always an open spot wherever the edge of the card touches. So the card edge never actually has to hit the edge of the plastic. So let's see if that'll kind of come through on camera. Maybe I'll try it right around here. So see how that's kind of open? And then I'm gonna rotate the card, so then kind of push this a little bit. I'm both doing this for the second time and trying to show it on camera, so let's see if this works now. There we go, maybe that's a little better. So it wasn't perfect, but I'll show you more as we go. So we got a good Ronnie Lott. Still think Junior Seau is our champion, so we're going to move on to Eddie Murray, number 409. And it's a $1.19 common card. And then we have our scratch off. So we'll keep them aside till the end and rip into pack number 2. So that was a big first pack right there. Let's see what we got coming up next. All right, we have our Super Bowl MVP, and this is going to be the Joe Namath card there. And that's going to be number 3 of that subset. It's showing around $94 as a PSA 10 and around $20 as a PSA 9. So would this grade that? We don't know. But what we'll do as we'll tuck it in the sleeve and check all that out later as we go. All right. And Ben Smith, number 690 of the Philadelphia Eagles. And for Ben Smith, I believe this is going to be a common card in terms of its value. It is his rookie card at around $1.26. Robert Awalt, 479. And he's on the Cowboys. Also coming in a common card at around 99 cents. Robert Blackman, 703 of the Seahawks. And he's the rookie card as well, coming in just around $1. Tony Bennett, not the singer, the player, 686 of the Green Bay Packers. And he's around $1.12, his rookie card too. So that's a cool image on there. Chet Brooks, number 636 on the 49ers, $1.35. Tim Green, linebacker of the Falcons, number 430. And that's coming through at around $1.49. And next up, we have Ed Reynolds of the Patriots, card 582, and $1.28. So interesting. After that first pack, we're hitting a bunch of commons back to back. Maybe that's bad news. Maybe that's good news. Let's see what we got coming up with Jay Schroeder, number 548, 165 common. And there are a few cards in here that I wouldn't recognize, but from looking up previously, turned out to be really good. So there may be some here that we don't think are obvious, but are actually some pretty good pulls. Mike Johnson, 472, $1.50 common. Tim Crumry, number 466, $1.14 common. Let's try not to have too many of the next one show. We want some surprise in there for all of us. Joe Jacoby on the Redskins, number 664. And there, another common, around $1.50. And Leroy Horde, running back on the Browns, number 714. And a rookie card there, around $1.55. I think we're heading into our All-Star Game cards. We have Tom Newberry of the Rams, card 410. And that's around $1. And then Dave Meggett, 406 of the Giants. Also the All-Star Game card at around $1.50 for a common. So that's our second pack. On to number 3. Cruising through right here. Goes a lot quicker when there aren't big cards in there. So let's slow it down with some worth stopping for, huh? All right. So we have our Super Bowl MVP card here. It's going to be John Riggins, card number 17 of that subset. And we're looking at around $41 in a PSA 10. So what I don't know is if just this entire subset as a PSA 10 has value, or if it's, these specific cards, but we'll sleeve them up until we know any different. That way we keep them in good shape if they need to be. All right, Alan Vagrad, 502 of the Packers. And he's showing around $19 as a PSA 9. I'm not sure if there's a lot of value there inherently, or if just somebody got it graded, but I'll tuck them aside and we'll check that out later on in more detail into the sales distribution and population and things like that. Howard Ballard, 725. He too is showing $28 as a PSA 9. So, again, let's check out the population on that. That'll be another day. Darrell Thompson, number 687. Common card, also his rookie card. It's a cool picture. Cool overall colors. First round draft pick. Nice. Jeff Ulenhake. There's definitely a better way of saying that, likely. So if you know, let me know. 737 of the Miami Dolphins. Around $1.29. His rookie card there. Mel Gray, 497. Around $1.18 for the common card. Gerald McNeil, card 515. And we've got 34 cents common card. Johnny Rembert, 581. Around common card value right there. Marcus Allen, 538. See if this one, around $18 as a PSA 10. He's a popular player. We'll kind of put him in the pile to analyze later. The one thing I'm concerned about with some of these older cards, if you look in the bottom, there's all this white wear on the edge, especially given the black printing ink. So I wonder how tough a grader would be on that. The corners look pretty clean, but this wear may be a clear no-go on that. So we'll put this in our pile and check it out, because there's a very fine line between an $18 PSA 10 and a nearly worthless card, and the time to spend even trying to grade it. Ricky Reynolds, number 658. And that's around $1.12 common. Mike Webster, 537. Shows around $15 as a PSA 10, and but likely more than that to grade it. This looks like it's a little off on the printing and the cutting, so we'll put that in our common pile. Tunch Ilkin of the Pittsburgh Steelers, number 623. And it shows around $25 as a PSA 10. So interesting lot here. You know, we see some that have been graded or likely, and we'll check them out. But nothing huge. Trace Armstrong, 446 of the Bears. And we have a common card there. Then we're getting into our two All-Star games. We got John Robinson of the Rams, card 426. And pretty common there. And then we have Sterling Sharp, 415 of the Packers. And that's coming up as a common. So, great player. And we have our scratcher. On to the next pack. So that was a quiet one. Junior is still our reigning champion in the winner's circle. No one's really jumped in to compete yet, but maybe we'll get a superhero or a Santa Claus insert or an Emmett. So plenty of chances ahead. Starting now, we have Joe Montana with the MVP collectible at card number 16. And he's showing around $30 in a PSA 10. So that's a good looking card. Let me see in the edges. And we'll tuck him in our pile to look more closely. Chris Carter, number 571, wide receiver on the Vikings. And he's coming in as around $1.19 common. Eric Moore, number 744 of the Giants. And all right, so here we see a couple different errors and variations. One of them is going to be, he's going to have a prospect stripe on the front. So we're going to turn this over. The values aren't vastly different, but one has a stripe and one does not. So let's see what we're getting. I'm imagining the one without a stripe would be the one. So he does have a Pro Set Prospect stripe. Wait, that's not even that card. Let's go. There we go. Ta-da! This is actually perfect because the card below him has that Pro Set Prospect right there. And he does not under Eric Moore. So it makes it conveniently helpful to see that this one is the error version that does not have it. So the value isn't that much crazier, but it is an error card. So we'll tuck that in our to review pile. And Gary Lewis, 752 on the Raiders. It's his rookie card, also a common card. And as we saw before, a Pro Set Prospect. James Williams, 684. It's his rookie card, coming in at around $1.24. Steve Walsh, number 484. And $1.57. It's showing around $28 as a PSA 10, but I'm not sure if that was just kind of a one-off. It doesn't seem like there's a lot in between. So for now, we'll put this in our just to check it out pile. Jeff Harrod, number 524. And around 51 cents as a common card value. Right there. Reggie Roby, 563 of the Miami Dolphins. Around $1.69 there. Common card. And Max Montoya, 547 of the LA Raiders. Common card there as well. So we've had a pretty quiet streak. Let's see if we can get something cool. Eugene Marv, 656 of the Buccaneers. Common card as well. Chris Spielman, 419 of the Lions. Coming through as a common. And Ray Berry, 566 of the Vikings. Common card as well. And then we've got Ken Stills, 574 also of the Vikings. Two teammates back to back. And he's showing around $1.35 as the common card. And then we've got Rich Camarillo of the Cardinals, number 383. This looks like the Pro Bowl card. And it's around $1.11. We should have another Pro Bowl right after that, which is Jeff Hostetler at 596. And Jeff is coming in, in around $87 as a PSA 10. So that could be a good one. And we haven't had a good horn in a while, so Jeff gets the horn. And we'll tuck him in his sleeve and see what's coming up next. But does Jeff beat out Junior Seau in our champion circle? I don't know. Junior's Junior. I think he's going to keep the crown for now. But if we find an Emmett or a Santa Claus, that may challenge Junior for the top spot. So, okay, we're getting something. Let's roll into our next pack here. It seems like one of the sides, I don't know if it's on all of them. Yep, one of the sides is especially hard to open, while the other side is especially easy to open. So here we go again. We got Terry Bradshaw, card number 13 of the MVP collectibles, and obviously still involved in the game today, and around $35 in a PSA 10. So we'll tuck that on our pile to check out further. Second place, color feature, Chris Boyd of Detroit, card number 794. Pro Bowl Hall of Fame photo contest. Interesting subset of the regular set. Let's see what card 794 brings in terms of interest and value. And we've got, it looks like, huh. Ah. So it's showing Barry Sanders. Yeah. Felix. Okay. So it looks like as a PSA 10 that this is around $70 to $90. So I think we got a surprise one. All right. Was not expecting that, but I think because that's Barry Sanders on the left, there's higher interest and potential value. So let's tuck this in and check out more about that one later. And like that's what I mean about cards I wouldn't have necessarily known just thumbing through a pack. I would have thought that's cool, but that's why we do what we do. All right, next one, American Bowl in London, card number 781. And there were a lot of really interesting locations for football games in this 1990 season. So London was one of them. And that's a stadium there. And I think it may even say which stadium it was. Yep, at the famed Wembley Stadium. So great mix of historic stadiums and American football. Keith Sims, but not a lot of value, around $1.17. Keith Sims, number 708. And this is around an $84 card as a PSA 10. It's his rookie card, and that's pretty cool. Again, one I would not have guessed. So here we go, two in the same pack, some good value, and we'll check them out. And for pricing, just as a reminder, I'm using Sports Card Pro, just the website, and so it's possible that values have changed since they've added them in, or eBay values are different. So these are just the first pass review, and then we'll kind of look more closely, obviously, before deciding anything about them. Very cool. Keith Sims. Still think Junior Seau is keeping the spot, but we'll move on now to Ray Agnew, number 678. And it's his rookie card, also around $1.32. Sean Jones, 512. Coming in around 64-cent. Common card. Eugene Daniel of the Colts, card number 521. And Eugene's also a common. So we've already pulled two good cards from this pack. Let's see if there's any more. John Offerdahl, 562 of the Miami Dolphins. And he's around $1.39 for that common. Mike Munchak, 518 of the Oilers. And common card there at around 99 cents. Raymond Claiborne, 471. And around a 50-cent common. Thomas Everett, 622 of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And we see him at around $1.22. Let's try to not give up too much about who's next. There we go. And Alfred Anderson, 565 of the Vikings. And we see him at around 99 cents for the common. Is that two of him in a row? No. I saw that coming through, and I'm like, whoa, two Vikings, but it is not. So he's going to go to the common pile. Next up, we have Hassan Jones, 570, also obviously, of the Vikings. And around 127 common card. It's interesting. Sometimes we see teammates back to back. I think I've gotten two of the same player relatively close. So I was wondering, is it even, statistically possible to get two back to back? I didn't think it was, and it still isn't in that case. And we'll move on to Mike Singletary of the Bears. This seems like the Pro Bowl game at 416. Around $15 as a PSA 10, but overall common card value. And then Mark Bavaro, number 592, at $1.78 common card value there. But pretty cool photo, like a very uniform background, which you don't see a lot. Usually there's a lot of fans behind them, so interesting card to check out there. All right, next one up. We are over halfway through now. We already turned the corner, and we're on the home stretch. So let's see what comes through. Hopefully something great, hopefully something surprising, but we'll know when we know. So Harvey Martin and Randy White, MVP collectible from the Super Bowl, and this is going to be number 12 of that subset series, and it looks like this is going to bring around $32 as a PSA 10, so we'll tuck that to review later. And the Raiders stay in LA. Davis announces the Coliseum Accord. So it seems like this is a news card, number 786. Let's see what this is. And interesting. So, yeah, it basically shows it has Al Davis rookie card, anywhere between $60 and $110 in a PSA 10. So let's give that its due, Horn. All right, another card. I never would have guessed just by thumbing through these. PSA 10s, of course, are hard to come by, but let's tuck it in and we'll research more later. All right, there we go. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Is he going to beat Junior? I don't know. Junior was on the field, so while they're both big contributors, I'll say we'll stick with Junior for now. And move on to Burn Brostek, number 691. And see what he's got going on. Rookie card at $1.40. Next up, Willis Paguzzi, 735. If you know how to pronounce that better, let me know, because it's very possible. 119 as a rookie, $1.19. Common card there. Next up, Percy Snow, number 681. And another rookie card, also common value, $1.37. Robert Clark, number 494. And around a 60-cent common. Moving on to Greg Rakosi, number 476 of the Browns. And he's around $1.67. Common card as well. Jesse Tuggle, 432 of the Falcons. And he's around $28 as a PSA 10. It is his rookie card. So we'll kind of, let's tuck this in his sleeve. The ink is looking pretty good on the edges, so if there ever was a shot at a PSA 10, we may be starting with a good potential. So let's just tuck this in and we'll check out more later. Warren Moon, number 517. We know Warren, and his card is around $25 as a 10. So nothing crazy, but we'll tuck him in the pile to check out later. Clay Matthews, 474. $1.15 common card. And here we go. Steve Young, number 645. Obviously a great quarterback. Around a $55 card in a PSA 10. So let's gently separate him from the card below. I don't know why this one is so connected, but there we go. So we'll tuck him in his sleeve and then add him to those that we'll take a look at. All right. There we go. Steve Young to Steve Beat Jr. Steve is pretty good. I think, let's do it. I think Junior's been on there a while. Steve Young is Steve Young. Let's go. Got him. Next up, Todd Bowles. All right. 661. He's still very active and around an $81 card in a 10. So now we're starting to hit some really, really good ones. Back to back, we have some incredible players. Todd Bowles is definitely going into a sleeve, and we'll see what we can do with all that. But I think we're finally hitting a stride now with some good players that we haven't seen yet. Todd versus Steve. I think Steve Young keeps the winner's circle for now, but Todd Bowles, great addition to the mix. Matt Millen, 640. Around $1.25 common. And now we should be getting to our Pro Bowl cards. Neil Anderson at 380. Let's see what Neil is up to. Common card there. And then Otis Anderson right after him. 2 Andersons, same spelling. It's pretty cool. Otis is 591 on the Giants. And that's going to be $1.50 for a common card. And we move on to our scratcher and the next pack. So here we go, cruising through. That was the side that doesn't open easy. I'm going to guess this side opens real easy. Yep. So that seems to be the bottom side. Interesting. I don't know if it's just because the packs are old or if that was designed that way, but either way, we'll take it. And we'll say hello to Marcus Allen, number 18 of the Super Bowl MVP subset. And his card value is looking at around $35 and in a 10. So kind of along the other ones, but all of those MVP Super Bowls seem to have value. Stam Humphries, 668 of the regular set. And he's around $16 in a PSA 10, but otherwise a common card. So we'll keep him in our commons. Eric and Dulcic, 731 of the Lions. And we're looking at around $1.59 for the rookie card here. And Greg McMurtry. Greg McMurtry, 740 of the New England Patriots. And his rookie card coming in around $1.25. Darian Connor, linebacker of the Falcons, card number 696, coming in also as a rookie around $1.19. Kevin Glover, 496 of the Lions, and his showing is a error variation as well. So here, the error is on the card back. It's going to say C and G, center and guard, so we have the error version of that card. On the corrected card, it just says C. So since we have the error version, we'll put that into our cool check it out pile. The ungraded value is only a little over $1, so there may not be tremendous value, but it is an error. So maybe we'll put together a little mix of error cards into their own subset of sorts. Kevin Ross, number 534, $1.49. Andre Rison, 434 of the Falcons. This one's around $25 in a PSA 10. But if we're looking here, see on the card there are these white marks from the printing process. So that would never make a 10. And since a non-10 is basically worth common value, and this even less because of those, that'll just go in our common pile. Christian Okoye, 532 of the Chiefs. Around $1.30 common card there. And Joe Wolf, number 620 of the Cardinals. Around a $2.27 common, so must be some interest there somewhere. But cool card. Bubba Paris, 641 of the 49ers. It's going to be around $1.39 for that card. And we kind of get all these back. And I always like the 49ers cards because they're very color matched, top and the bottom in the uniform. Jeff Bostic, 660 of the Redskins. I believe we've seen this recently. I'll be able to start remembering these the more that we see. But he's a common card there. Brent Jones, 639 of the 49ers. And he's going to be around a $23 card in a PSA 10. So some interest there. But we could see here already the this corner already has a little bit of whitening to it. So I don't think this would pass the 10 mark. So we'll put him in the common pile. Ron Wolfley of the Cardinals, card number 424. And around $8 in a PSA 10, which is less than the cost to grade it. So to the common pile. And Frank Reich, 441, QB of the Bills. So this is going to be a common card as well. And then we have our scratcher after that. Here's our bag. Let's test our theory. Is the top harder to open in this one as well? Yes. Is the bottom easy to open in this one, as well? Yep. All right. So maybe it's intentional. I don't know, but we'll go with it. All right. Here we have Richard Dent, number 20 of that subset of MVP Super Bowl cards. He's with the Bears and around $39 in a PSA 10. So I think in general, these MVP collectibles are probably going to be all along those same lines. And so we'll put them aside. We'll check them out. And whoa, all right, check this out. Are we missing something? Yes, we are. So this is going to be a kind of an insert card, kind of not, but we're going to look for Andre Rison of the Colts. And this is going to be a special variation of that card. So let me bring up the Rison. And let me see. So here we go. So what I'm going to do is first tuck this in his sleeve as we're talking so I don't get anything on the card itself. I know there's some value, but we'll find out exactly how much. Actually, is that nuts? I think we didn't do it, but as they're printing on the card itself, you can see a little bit of missing ink. It's a little white spot right about there. So I don't know if this would grade at 10, so it may bring the value down a little bit, but we'll still protect it and then find out, how rare it is. But it is one of those cool variation cards, and I'll tell you a little bit about its history in just a second. So all right. Almost there. And here we go. So, all right. So from Old Sports Cards, a great website that's helpful for some of this research, apparently as part of the trade to secure Jeff George with the first pick of the 1990 draft, Indianapolis sent a young Andre Rison to Atlanta. So here we see him in the Indy uniform, and here it says traded Indianapolis to Atlanta. And because of the idea that the cards would kind of evolve, right? Typically in this era, you had Series 1, Series 2, and then maybe a third issuing of a small subset of cards at the end of the season. Basically, this card had that banner for the trade, and then a note on the back from the creator or founder and owner of ProSet, the president as well, Ludwell Denny. And he basically talks that, the Series 1 card should have reflected his trade to Atlanta and was issued without a traded snipe. So I guess they call this the snipe. So this Andre Rison card of number 134 will be reissued with the traded stripe as a bonus with the 90 1990 28 card final update. So there you go. And there's more you can go on to read there. But just a pretty cool insert that you don't always find, and has some value to it as well. So cool find. We'll put that in our pile and continue on the next. Blair Thomas, number 670. And it's his rookie card. And wow, this is a big one too. All right, it's showing $91 in a PSA 10. So I would not have guessed that, but here we go. And that's why we are looking. So let's tuck him into a sleeve, and then we'll keep cruising and seeing who may show up next, because you just never know. And I think Steve Young is still going to keep the top spot over Blair Thomas. Mark Vlasic, number 634. I think there is a pickle brand called Vlasic. I wonder if there's any relation. Maybe he's from a pickle magnate, or not at all. The mystery remains. If you know, let us know. Common card value at around 99 cents. Houston Hoover, number 724. And we have this at a rookie card around $1.57. So common value there. Oliver Barnett, number 723. We just pulled 724, and 723 is right next to him. That's one of those coincidences I was mentioning earlier of how often does something like that happen. Maybe even getting two of the same card one day, but we'll see. Right now, there are two versions of this card. One has an error, one does not. And the one that has DT on the front instead of NT has higher value. So let's turn this over, and we'll see if there is a DT or an NT. All right, we have the NT. So this is the generic one, and we'll put this in our comment pile. Danny Stubbs, number 483. And there seems to be an error on the front if it's 66 and the back is 96. So on the back right here, you could see we have number 96. And let's check out the front and see what comes up. '66 on his jersey. All right. So we have the error card for Danny Stubbs. That's pretty cool. And I don't know what the value is. There's none showing up, so that may mean that it's near worthless. It may mean that it's worth something. So we'll just tuck them in the bag for now, and then as we learn more, we'll know more. But that's cool. I love finding these error cards because you never know what you're going to get. Andy Heck, number 647. And 99-cent common card there. Steve Pellier. We'll go with Steve Pellier, 533, quarterback of the Chiefs. And looking at $1.25 common card value. Rodney Holman, 464. All right, around $87 as a PSA 10. That's really cool. I would not have expected that. All right. Pulling out surprises left and right. And let's see if this is... There's a white dot right here on the printing. I hope it's card dust and not printing error. Printing error. And that's why it's so hard to pull out a PSA 10. Because look at these edges. They're pretty clean. Corners are clean. Everything's clean. But right there, out of the pack, you could see that white dot. So not going to be a 10. A 9 is even a little bit. We'll put him in a sleeve for now, but we'll probably just relegate him to the common pile at some point. But we were close, and now we know. Keep an eye out for Rodney Holman. Randy Grimes, number 654. And it's around $1.99 card. Jerry Holmes, number 500. And it's around 98 cents. Dermonte Dawson, number 621. And it's around $10 in a PSA 10, but it falls pretty well within our common territory. And we got his teammate right after him in the Steelers with 625, and that is Gerald Williams. And around $1.33 common. Now we're heading into our Pro Bowl cards. We got Luis Sharp, 414, and Cardinals player there, $1.50 common. And Will Wolford, 445 of the Bills, and around $1.38 common. Scratcher. And our final set. We'll go to the bottom. That should open easier. And let's wrap this up. All right, we have our Super Bowl MVP collectible. These historically have been around $30 to $40 in PSA 10. Let's check out this specific one. Whoa, all right. This is showing around $92. That's why we check them out. Let's give him the horn. And I'm going to gently pull it apart. And pretty cool. So we'll tuck this in his sleeve. We're starting out this last pack really, really nicely. And let's make sure he gets home safe. Right in here. There we go. Perfect. All right, Jake Scott. I still think Steve Young will keep the winner's circle. And we have Eric Green, number 689, as we move into the regular cards in the set. Rookie card at $1.56. And Johnny Bailey, 743. And he's going to have an error version and a regular version. The one says 46 on the back, the other says 22. We have number 22. I don't see a value for the other one. This one does have a value of only 25 cents in ungraded shape, but I like the idea that it may be one of the errors. I'll look more to confirm that later. Mark Carrier, number 674. Rookie card at around $1.43. Dennis Brown, card 716. And he's a rookie card. It shows a grade 9 as $30, so I wonder if the 10 is more or if that's kind of an outlier. But for now, at that range, we'll tuck him in a sleeve and learn some more about him later. Actually, wait a second. See, there's a white mark right around here. I wonder if that's printing or dust. Ah, it's printing again. That's why it's so hard to get a 10. But we'll still see what we got going on. Chances are he'll go into our common pile, and that'll be that. Jack Trudeau, number 526. Around $1.17 there. Danny Noonan, number 481. Around 136 common. We'll cruise through this pack. Doug Widdell, 730. And he's a rookie card, around $1.35. And Jeff Dellenbach, 558. And around $12 as a PSA 10, but general common value below that. Brian Noble, 505. And we have common value there as well. And Gary Anderson, 652 of the Bucks. $1.22. Cool, there's a lot of orange on there. Floyd Turner, number 590 of the Saints. Around $2 card there. And Jim Dombrowski, number 587, also of the Saints. Two teammates in a row. He's around $12 and a PSA 10 for his rookie. And next we have Kent Hull, 438 of the Pro Bowl card. Common there. And then lastly, we have our Kevin Green, number 392, and $1.92 as the common. So there you have it. Our scratcher will go off. Let's take a look at some of our big cards as we wind it down. But we've got a pretty big pile of potentials here. You can kind of see sideways, so I'll gently go through and pull out the ones that are kind of surprises. And I think this Randy Holman was a good surprise. I think the Blair Thomas. We got our Andre Rison error card where the back has the Ludwell Denny note. And then, of course, we got our Junior Seau. And I think along with that, we'll have our Steve Young rounded out. So I think our Steve Young and our Junior Seau probably take the championship lead for today. Up to you. Do you think it should be Steve? Do you think it should be Junior? Let me know, and we'll keep rolling from here. So there you have it. Another group of packs. Another really good kind of group of surprises as well. Some error cards and big names, and that's why it's fun. None of these are likely going to be millions of dollars, but we may have some pretty valuable ones, at least in terms of wax era cards. So thanks for joining. Hope you had some fun. And there you have it. Until next time.